Welcome to the video educational series, Everything Building Envelope. Everything Building Envelope is brought to you by GCI Consultants, solvers and preventers of virtually any building envelope problem related to water leaks in glazing, wall, and roofing systems. This video is titled Quality Control for Mitigating Claims. This is part one of 3 brief videos, which will present the quality control and documentation procedures during design and construction to help assure a positive outcome with building envelope systems and mitigate the post-construction claim risk. This segment is presented by Paul Beers, founder of GCI Consultants. This video excerpt is from a recent symposium where Paul presented on building envelope risk mitigation.
On the documentation side, first thing is, this is really important. It seems so elementary, but you need to have a set of plans and specs that represent the actual construction details. When you get into a claim situation at the end of the project and you get that long Florida Statutes 558 list of 87 things they found wrong, they pick these things. You've got lawyers basically reviewing plans and specs at this point, and the experts that are in cahoots with them, and they're basically looking for any variation. Now, there may be a good reason we used a different kind of, maybe, Kevin, they specified urethane and you came along and rightly persuaded them to use silicone. If you don't change the plan, that's going to be something that they're going to say, this doesn't meet the plans and specs. Well, it's better, but you've got to go through a whole argument now to basically validate that. Any value engineering that's done should be incorporated into the plans and specifications. Same thing with RFPs, same thing with change orders. And if there's as-built drawings, some of our clients don't do as-built drawings anymore, because that's another thing that they can just hammer you with. They just make sure that the contract documents incorporate all the changes as they go through the project, and that's the basis for what's ultimately used. Contractors and subs, they're going to document things, and this is where the email curse comes in again. You really need to establish the rules with everybody during the project as to what should be documented and how it should be documented. Even third-party consultants. You want to build a file that's really going to provide the needed information but not provide anything else. What we like to do now during design, it used to be we would have the architect send us a set of plans. We used to have rooms full of plans. Now we have the cloud, so that's been a big improvement over time. But what we used to do is we used to take the plans and we would redline them, and we'll still do it. Now it's digital. It used to be, with the red, actually with really using a red pen back in 1992. And we don't like to do that anymore. The better thing to do these days is to have collaborative design team meetings. Sit down, get everybody in the same room, go over it all, make the recommendations, discuss the details, figure out what needs to be included, what systems we should use, things like that. Minimize the documentation, because any of this stuff that goes back and forth ends up in the file, can come back into question at the end of the project, and obviously be used against you, I guess, for lack of a better term. What we like to do, and some manufacturers embrace this, others maybe not, is we like to get the manufacturers, the system suppliers, as involved as possible with the entire process. We want them to review the use of their materials. We want them to sign off. We love adhesion testing, compatibility testing, reviews by their technical department, all that kind of stuff. The more that we can get the manufacturers involved, the better set of documents we're going to have. And the warranty, these warranties, so many times we see at the end of the job, you've got a warranty, and the warranty is basically no good because we didn't get them to sign off, or not we, somebody didn't get them to sign off on it, or they didn't, install something correctly. They used open cell instead of closed cell backer rod. Whatever the issue is, it invalidates the warranty. So you've got to have everybody involved. You're really going to be thinking about these things. So at the end of the job, when you do say, Mr. Homeowner, here's your warranty, that it's actually enforceable. Peer reviews during design are always a good thing. You obviously, and I know this is done probably almost all the time now, contractors need to go through it, whoever's going to build the job, and make sure it's buildable. And, third-party reviews also can be very helpful to just try and bring out those issues. I mean, we don't like it when people go through our work, but on the other hand, a lot of times they have good ideas, and if it's going to save us from tripping over the same rock twice, then that's a good thing.
For more information on this video segment, to view more videos in the Everything Building Envelope video series, or to subscribe to our podcast, go to www.everythingbuildingenvelope.com. To learn more about GCI Consultants, visit us at www.gciconsultants.com.